Boy, the lesson on Colossians 2:16 through 23 is legalism and spiritualism. I mean, Paul did not like legalism. So I had somebody ask me, well, what is legalism? Legalism is like saying you have to come to church 3 times a week. Otherwise, you're sinning. Or your salvation depends on. That's just an example. I'm not saying that's what it is. But let's get into this. Verse 16. It's taken Paul this long to get to his point. He is going to deal with legalism and the mystics, or spiritualism. He starts with legalism in verse 16. Let no one judge. I think you have to be legalistic to little children. Kind of, if you get my meaning here. Paul, though, is addressing 3 things from the Mosaic Law. The question of food and drink, what's in a man's heart, is not, it makes you unclean. Religious festivals, and we all know what makes a person unclean in their heart. It's not food. The Sabbath regulations, which they still observe today. Circumcision was an issue with Galatia, but was not an issue with Colossae, and does not bring it up here, if you notice. Verse 17, tell us why it's an issue. It tells us why in verse 17. It's a shadow in the Greek, a picture, not the real thing. Think about a shadow. The reality is Jesus. The law is a shadow. It is twofold meaning here. Jesus came to fulfill the law, and he is the fulfillment of the law. It is a shadow, a pointer. Point. We now rest in Jesus from our works and the Sabbath, and by faith we keep the law. This is a deep aspect. Look at Hebrews 10:1 and Galatians 3:23 through 25. I like the way they read in the ESV the best. In verse 18, spiritualism, or I can't hardly say it, asceticism. It's a noun. It's severe self-discipline and avoidance of all forms of indulgence, typically for religious reasons. He also mentions the worship of angels or visions, which can include fasting. Nothing wrong with fasting. Things which can make us withhold fleshly delights can easily become a misfocus, because it puts the focus on your physical flesh and ignores the source of sin or sinful nature, which is in us by birth, which is contrary to God. It only deals with the exterior. Think about that. Fasting can make you feel holy. Look at 1 Timothy 4:1 through 4. Paul mentions the worship of angels is misleading. This is a fleshly thinking. And then finally, verses 19 through 23. Verse 20, nothing man made is eternal. Jesus is the head of the body. We are knit together. Where he says, touch not, taste not, handle not. It's legalism. The spiritual reason is the one who walks with Jesus, not the person who keeps the rules. Don't you hate the rules? Verse 21, rules from man fail. Verse 23, rules appear to have a show of waste. Rules aren't the answer. May you not be subject to legalism. And don't, and I mean, I grew up thinking if you got a tattoo, you were going to go, you were subject to damaging your body. You were going to go to hell. I was taught that. That doesn't mean I believed it. But now that is from Leviticus, where it says if a man, does that to his body. But we're not under the law. We're set free from the law. Hallelujah. Have a good day. Have a good time. Whatever. I'll see you next time.